All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to sunny Daytona, Florida. We are live tonight with Cyber Racing Association's K&N West Series. Tonight we are at the Circa 2007 Daytona, which is going to mean we're in for a bunch of rough surface racing tonight. We're going to see high speeds, and we are going to see a lot of action. As always, it's a 60-lap race, 50% fuel, one quick fix. And I do believe they're still running the modified setup because these cars are handling the bumps very well, unlike when we run them in, say, a pickup cup or whatever. But joining me tonight, as always, is Alan Schoen. We might have some extra guest commentators, but for right now, it's the dynamic duo. And I do believe Alan may or may not be broken at this moment, but we're still in practice. We're coming to the 3-minute mark, and then we will advance into qualifying. So far, it looks like in practice we will be having a 24-car field, as we see a nice pile up there on the backstretch. Looking through the driver list here, I can see we've got a couple new names, but the usual familiar faces are always here, as they are every week. Seeing a lot of different paint schemes tonight. I'm liking that.
I am here. I'm not broken.
Oh, imagine that. It's a miracle. So we are approaching the 1-minute mark here in practice. Drivers, I've been looking here at the lap charts. Some of them have turned well over, see, there's one 63 laps, 55, 24, 46, 53. So a lot of these guys have been in here for a while, and they've been grinding it out in practice. But as always, and I know it's probably going to be another call out for fanboyism, but tonight are we going to see Dark Horse go straight to the front again and rattle off another win to add to their category of wins that they scored last season?
Of course we are. We're going to see them guys run up front. We're going to see them, unless somebody else can get up there in with them, we're going to see them running up front. We're going to see them dominate, unless there's somebody else that gets out there to hold them off.
Now, you know, by saying that, we are going to be ultimately accused of being fanboys. But there is no bipartisanship in this stream. I am 100% completely unbiased. When you come across a team like DHI that has so much talent and so much skill between the drivers, you can't help but focus on the same thing over and over. So there is 100% no bipartisanship here as we advance into qualifying now.
Oh, definitely not. I mean, I'm not definitely not trying to have any bias towards anybody. I just know those guys are fast here. They always run up front, and unless there's another team out there that gets up in the mix, they're going to keep being up there.
Well, it's one of the few teams that I've seen in all the leagues that I've been in that have such a strong bond as far as teamwork goes together with the working with each other. I've never seen a team that could sit there and be so consistent, and you always know that if you see one DHI car, there's going to be another one right there with them, and they're working with each other, strategizing throughout the entire race. They've got everything figured out before the green flag drops, and it's usually they're always out in front before any of the wrecks happen. And we have seen the occasional instance, though, where they have been involved in wrecks, but they've come back. Like last season, Derek Walker was involved at Talladega in a couple of the big ones, but he was still able to rally back and salvage a decent finish there. So it's just you can't argue with the facts. If you're consistent, you're fast, you've got a good team, you've got good drivers, you've got a good camaraderie between it, you're going to be an unstoppable force, and that's what we've been seeing so far with DHI. So right now, early on, we're going to have our pole set at a 49.609. Gregory Thompson is your pole sitter right now. One-tenth off of him. Oh, he's starting to shuffle down now. Pole is still being held currently by the 08. Sean Harmon, though, is only 7/10 behind as we see Artie Pearson Jr. is going to take second right now. He is, things start flipping back around again. We now have the 54 as our pole sitter with a 49.060. We'll see this number change quite a few more times before qualifying is over. See the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer there. And there we go. That's what I was talking about. There's Rodney Wofford right there with the pole with a 49.003.
And that's clicking them off in a hurry.
Well, I knew it was only a matter of time before we saw it, and I was waiting for it. But as usual, 3 car right now is on the pole. We have a new second place car now, the 99 of Christopher Berry. He is only 300ths off of the pole.
Yeah, we are looking at Matthew Quick and Raymond Rittenhauer, both a part of Dingleberry Motorsports.
I knew it was that team. I love the name. There are several teams here in CRA. I know we have Dark Horse, we have Dingleberry, we have Velocity, we have several more. But I think, as we all know, the one team that's everybody's got their bounty on, their eyes on, will be, as you see right there, that paint scheme. That is going to be Dale Jr. right there in the 81.
It does appear we only have 2 from Dark Horse here this evening, though.
I
Mark
wasn't
Jorgensen
noticing.
and
It's going to be Jorgensen Jr. and Wofford. I don't see Holderman, and I don't see Derek Walker. So, yeah, looks like we have 2 entries from the Dark Horse stable tonight. So maybe it might not be DHI ruling the race tonight. But as of right now, DHI is controlling the first 2 positions, so that'll be inside and outside row.
within 1/1000th of each other.
You see Trading Paints is still a little bit behind the 8 ball here. It's loading paint schemes in as they come. Seems like ever since they updated it, it kind of went all haywire. And I know a lot of the paint schemes, like when we were running the 24 hours, it would show up for about 1 or 2 stints and then disappear for the other driver. And I saw multiple paint schemes changing. But hopefully they get their crap situated out pretty soon, because it's a little bit annoying trying to showcase each driver's paint scheme when it's not loading, but it seems that they're starting to come together now. You see the number 4 of Justin Levine. He is rocking a new paint scheme. So we're seeing right now 2 teams that are going to be starting back to back with each other. DHI and Dingleberry Motorsports. They're both right even in positions there. So you see the 7 there taking an interesting ride on the backstretch. I'm very familiar with that set of turns right there after 6 stints with the 24 hours of Daytona. But checkered flag is out. We are going to move on to the race now, but first we will get you your gridding order. All right, folks. Starting on the pole tonight, we have the number 3 of Rodney Wofford with a 49.003. Starting outside of him will be fellow Dark Horse teammate Mark Jorgensen Jr. in the 81. Rolling off third will be the 99 of Christopher Berry. Outside of him will be the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer. Starting in fifth, fellow teammate, the 89 of Matthew Quick. Rolling off sixth will be the 54 of Chris Akers. Matthew Welzenbach will roll off 7th, Gregory Thompson 8th, Sawyer Ott 9th. Rounding out your top 10 will be Stephen Masurley. Justin Levine will roll off 11th, Jason Roadbush 12th, Sean Harmon 13th, Talon Crandall 14th, James Peterson 15th, Artie Peterson Jr. 16th, Dwayne Cooper in the 00 17th, Gary Weaver in the number 7 rolling off 18th, Jeff Figlin 19th. Rounding out your top 20 will be Gary Champion. 22nd will be Thomas LeVar. Jeremy Funk will roll off 23rd. Bobby Tinch will be your 24th place car. And 25th will be Jason Kinzer. And rounding out your field will be the 24 car of Kevin Tesmar. All right, Gary, it's race day here at Daytona. How did practice go, and what do you think's gonna transpire during the race tonight?
Oh, practice was definitely fun. Actually got a faster lap time running the high line somehow, and I might try to do that during the race. I don't know if I should or not, because running the high line at the track is possible death because the wall is right there.
I did notice several cars hitting the wall in practice, but if we're still running the same set as last season, it should be fairly stable, and as long as the side drafting doesn't go wrong, I think the outside is going to be pretty much the line to beat here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Running the bottom line, it's the apron is always a killer at any super speedway, so I might actually run the middle or the high line, but since I got a 12th place finish last week, I'm going to try and aim for at least the top 15 or so.
Yeah, we got about a half a lap here before we go green, and you're sitting pretty on the outside row right now as we're riding with you. Seems like you're blinking a little bit, but your connection seems to be a lot better than it has been the past race, but as we see the pace car rolling into 3 and 4, we're gonna let you get them seatbelts buckled in, and hopefully we'll see you up towards the front tonight.
Yep, see ya.
That was the number 7 of Gary Weaver, who has spent time with us in the booth. As the green flag is out, we are underway here at Daytona. Oh, we've already got somebody going off.
Before the start-finish line, 78.
No caution yet. I don't believe there will be one on that one, but so far it looks like the inside line is very broken up, and the outside is well deformed. I think a lot of cars are right now wanting to just drop towards the back. Now, if that did trip a caution, we would have gone ahead and done a replay, but since we are still under the green flag, that will not be the case.
It does appear that back there, Gary Weaver got into the back of him and sent him to the inside wall hard.
You see the 4 of Justin Levine there. He caught the wall a little bit there going through turn 2. But this is why we always have more than one commentator. As I'm focused here on the lead pack, Alan is busy looking throughout the field watching for where there's going to be possible battles that I can't see. And when there's a wreck, since obviously I'm focused on the front, he's the one that's in the trenches back there digging and looking, trying to find who it was so I can show you guys exactly what happened. So I guess me and him would be the equivalent of Dark Horse when it comes to the broadcasting, because it definitely does take teamwork and it takes coordination, and I don't know, we do this with our league and it just carries over. We see there's a breakout front pack and there's a fairly decent sized pack in the back there. I think they're just gonna bide their time because, as always, we do have 50% fuel, one quick fix, so I do believe that the 78 has already used his, since he did take a hard visit to the inside wall, possibly the 7 as well.
3 wide in that second pack back there. The 5, the 18, and 30, they just go 3 wide coming out of turn 4.
Looks like they settled it down, because as soon as I went to focus on them, they were right back to 2x2 racing.
Yeah, the 30 and the 5, they went by and just put it back in 2x2 here.
We are still very early on. We are only working lap 4 of 60. Not much has changed right now. Your front two still are Dark Horse fellow teammates Rodney Wofford and Mark Jorgensen Jr., or as we call him, Dale Jr. You can see third place is the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer and Gary Thompson behind him.
Man, there's a lot of movement out of these cars tonight. You can definitely tell this is a bumpy track here. This second pack is having a hard time gathering things together.
Well, that is the nature of the beast here at the old Circa 2007 track. It is extremely bumpy all the way around. Doesn't matter what part of the track you're in, whether you're on the backstretch. Oh, and we've got a big wreck here. Caution is out. And there's still good save there by the 98 of Jeff Figlin.
I see the 08 and the 10, but I don't know. I'm backing it up. Take a look at it.
We're going to go here and take a replay and see what happened.
It does appear the 39 and the 8 get into it with each other coming out of the turn, or going into the turn, I'm sorry.
Oh, we see the hook right there. And it just sends the 8 around and just clogs the track. Nowhere for anybody to go there. As cars are just spinning everywhere. It looks good job by the 51 there, checking up and avoiding the damage there. But unfortunately, that's going to bring out our first caution, and a lot of drivers are going to be using up their quick fixes already.
Yeah, it looks like maybe the 86, the 89, the 08, the 98, the 4, the 10.
Maybe now the guys in the second pack, they're very happy that they stayed back there because they had plenty of time to check up for that one.
54 gets a little piece of the 10 as he tries to get by.
So we're 7 laps in. Are we going to see the leaders pit to take some fuel and tires, or are they going to stay out a little bit? My guess would be pit.
Boy, 7 laps in, I think I'm coming into pit.
As they are coming down pit road. See the entire field here, minus a couple cars, are coming down pit road to take their service. Right now we are going to go to commercial since we are under caution.
No, I just figured it was a good opportunity.
All right, so after stops right now, your new leader is going to be Jeremy Funk, it looks like, with Dwayne Cooper in the 00. In second place, Raymond Rittenhauer is going to be your P3 car right now. So we've already had a caution, several cars involved, as we see Jeremy Funk is going to go down pit road and pack that car full of fuel. That will cycle your lead over to the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. Lights on the pace car are still on, so we will go at least 2 more laps. Let's see if any of these guys are conserving fuel already. We're right on board with your leader right now. Not so much conserving fuel, just keeping it low in 4th gear, cool the car back down, and pretty much just sip that fuel right now because we still are under pace laps. We see a wave by taking place. So we see the entire field there coming out of 4, minus the couple cars that did take wave bys, as we see another car going back down pit road to pack it full of fuel again. Another wave by going around. Lights on the pace car are off.
So another car that was involved in that early debacle there on the start was the number 1 of Arnie Peterson. And he still has a little bit of wing damage on the rear of the car, so I don't believe he took his quick repair. I think he's going to try to save it until he absolutely has to.
Well, this is Circa 2007 Daytona. If my damage isn't severe, I am definitely going to hang on to my get-out-of-jail-free card as long as I possibly can, seeing how we are going to take the green flag here, the restart on lap 11. There's still a lot of racing left and a lot of opportunities for things to go wrong. So I think that was a safe call right there by him not taking his quick repair. And I think quite possibly what we like seeing here is teammates close to each other. As the pace car makes its way out of turn 4, it'll be ducking down pit road here in just a second, and we will go back to green flag racing. Pace car is down.
Green flag.
Green flag is out. We are back racing here at Daytona.
And as we exit turn 2 here, Dwayne Cooper is still holding the lead. The 87 on his outside, the 81 on his bumper.
And quite honestly, I can't think of anybody I'd rather have on my back bumper right now other than Dale Jr. right there. He's one hell of a pusher. He can side draft. He can pretty much go just about anywhere on the track he wants to. So we see a little bit of shuffling there coming out of turn 4 as they are 3 wide still. They're going to sort that out. And I do believe Rittenhauer is going to get that lap by just by a spoiler. See the 54 pushing the 87. The 87 is going to try and clear the 00 there. Couldn't make it stick. As we get this incredible shot of them all racing down the backstretch here. As we all know, the inside line going into the turn is going to have the advantage. So we see the 00 slide up to the outside. That brings into my other point. The outside front line is going to have the run off the corner. As he was able to throw the block on the 87, that's going to score Dwayne Cooper a lap lead here. As they are, looked like they were going to go 3 wide for a second there with the 98, but we are going to stay double file. Let's take a look at the speeds here. Seeing about 201 right there was the highest we saw. It is a little bit down from the 2011 Daytona, but then again, it is a million times bumpier, and it's pretty much like riding around on tree stumps. That time around, Dale Jr. is going to lead that lap in the 81. He's got the 98 right behind him. Coming out of the corner, the 00 is already at 198. 202 is the fastest I saw that time in that group. Let's see if they run for a lap time here. This is going to be a drag race to the stripe here. Another lap led for the 81.
No, Dwayne up into the wall just a little bit and back down into the 87.
Meanwhile, the 98 has made a move on the inside. The 81 went up to go work with the 00. That's going to open the hole and let the 98 around, and possibly as we see the 00 get the wall again. But the 81 is going to lead another lap. Right now, it's a little bit dangerous having a couple car lengths between you and the next car in the row. As we can see, the inside right now has definitely got the momentum. The outside line's got to gather it back up. As we see, oh, there's a wreck.
Caution, caution.
Several cars, most of the field involved in that one, and it's still going on.
Do you need anything to drink, or you alright?
And we will obviously get a viewpoint from the 98 on that, because I did see him the first to go around.
It does appear that the 87 hooked him.
So everything right now is playing out like it should. You see the 87 try to make the move, and he just did. He just made contact, and then that just sent the 98 around, and you could pretty much see the entire field right there is just scattered between the outside wall and the road course bus stop there. So huge wreck right there. Not what we want to see. As we see another dark horse driver there, the number 9 of Kenny Holderman, who we thought didn't make this race. He is here, in fact. So there are 3 members of Dark Horse here tonight. And right now he is being scored as your leader. Second place is Bobby Tinch, and Artie Peterson, despite being involved in that very early wreck, is back to third place as they're going to come down pit road and refill those tanks with Sunoco race fuel and slap some fresh Goodyears on it, possibly. See, Artie Peterson elected to stay out, as well as actually correct that. Stephen Maserli is going to be your new leader. And it's going to keep cycling around until all these stops are done. It looks like Jason Kinzer is going to be our new leader here with 43 laps remaining. So everybody staying low as wave bys go around. So we got some fresh faces up here at the front of the field after that gigantic wreck on the backstretch. "42 laps remaining here at Daytona." We're going to see a couple wave arounds. Actually, I believe that'll be the lucky dog or a wave around. So that'll put Jason Kinzer as your leader, Kenny Holderman second, and Bobby Tinch in the 66 third. Fourth will be Artie Peterson Jr. I know a lot of these drivers are probably not happy having to use their quick fixes this early on in the race, as we do still have a lot of racing here, seeing how this is a 2.5 mile track. That is still a lot of mileage left before this race is over, and one more big one could potentially end the race for a lot of these drivers. So we see more wave bys going around as the pace car is exiting 4. Hopefully the lights turn off and we will restart with 40 laps to go. We're going to see the 13 drive down pit road and pack that car full of fuel, which will hand your lead back over to the 9 of Kenny Holderman. So I'll move Bobby Tinch to second, Artie Peterson Jr. to third. Gary Weaver's up to fourth, Thomas Labar fifth, Stephen Masurley sixth. Lights are out on the pace car, so they are doubling it back up. We will restart this race with 40 laps remaining. I know this isn't the first race to see it back, but it's so nice seeing the Mustang pace car, even though it's back in its virgin form as I remember it from 2011.
Yeah, it does appear I seem to be having a slight connection issue this evening as well. I'm getting a lot of broken up communication.
Now, technology wasn't very good back in 2007, and I think that might be jinxing it tonight here. We might be stuck in a time vortex. Meanwhile, the pace car is making its way out of turn 4 with the field in tow. It will be making its way down pit road, and we will restart this race with 40 laps remaining. I'll wait for it to pull off. As pace car dives down, green flag is out. We are back underway. You see the 7 give the 66 a nice little shot there on the start. That's going to help boost the outside line at the beginning here. It appears that the inside line was a little bit more conservative on the restart. We can see one car there flirting with the apron, which here at 07 Daytona, that is flirting with disaster. So the 66 is going to drop down in front of the 9 of Kenny Holderman, which leaves Gary Weaver and Raymond Rittenhauer as your front 2 cars on that outside line. Oh, and we're wrecking again.
Caution.
Caution is back out.
Reviewing, give me a sec. Looks like the 96 up into the 99. Looks like 13 hooked him.
All right. Once again, this is apparently going to be the same as last week. We're giving the DieHard Instant Replay a workout tonight. So you see 3 wide racing, that never is a good thing. As we see the 13 hooking, it looks like almost a little bit of netcode there, but hooked the 96, and that just sent him around and scattered the field up again. We see the 13 doing a nice little lid ride there, but that would be caution number 3 right now in the books. I'm sure this is not what the drivers want to be seeing. You see a wave by going around right now. That would be, looks like it was the 3 of Rodney Wofford, but I'm not sure because I do remember he changed his paint scheme, and we see the leaders. Oh, pit fake. Almost caught the 9 of Kenny Holderman off guard. I think he got 2 tires down the grass there, but we do have takers on pit road. So new leader Bobby Tinch, second place Kenny Holderman, third place is still Artie Peterson Jr. Not much changed up front, seeing how that wreck did happen about mid-pack. As we see right now, Rodney Wofford is down 11 laps, it is showing me. He's being scored in last place. See some wave bys going around. Gary Weaver's 4th, Mark Jorgensen Jr. 5th. So 2 dark horse drivers remaining, it looks like.
Yeah, a lot of these guys are calling possible net code on a lot of these issues tonight, so.
That last one definitely did look like netcode. I mean, they were 3 wide, but when the cars actually made contact, it did not look like the cars were actually touching each other. That did look like side lag netcode to me, which we have seen a lot in the past. That ever since iRacing, 2 or 3 builds back, the netcode has gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. I mean, we've seen netcode incidences where you could literally drive another car in between the two, yet somehow magically they made contact.
That's not magic, that's iRacing.
Well, that's iBroken, but that's what we call iRacing. It's moments like that I think a lot of these guys, it really frustrates them, because as much as we pay for the service, for the content, we pay for these races to be put on, for them to be broadcasted, for a simple thing like netcoding to be such an aggressive problem like it is, that's really got to frustrate a lot of people and possibly deter a lot of people from wanting to try out iRacing. I mean, it is a great simulator, but as of a few builds ago, the netcode has just gone through the roof. I mean, a lot of times, yes, it starts with the car being close to another, but with a lot of the instances that we have seen, it has been just absolutely ridiculous. There's just been so much space in between the cars, and they'll still hook each other.
And we're calling it netcode, and it's really not netcode, folks. It's more the prediction system that iRacing is using to determine where the car should be on the track at any given time. If the participant happens to drop packets, the sim does try to predict where the car is going to be, and sometimes that prediction software is way off.
And that is definitely the big issue, the packet loss. And now with the double Q bar, which is the quality to the, you have 2 quality bars now. You have a quality from your connection to iRacing and iRacing to the server. So things can go wrong on either end and cause what we call netcode, but it is actually exactly what Alan described. It's just packet loss. And the way that they've implemented the scripting of these cars, of where the system says they are versus where they actually are on track. It's just easier to say netcode. And it sounds a lot less nerdy. Meanwhile, we still have wave buys going on. Oh, we saw the 66. He just completely disappeared right there. That was a hairy Houdini. Hopefully he comes back. If not, that will score your new leader as the number 9 of Kenny Holderman. As the lights on the pace car are off, so unless the 66 makes it back, the number 9 will lead the field off here on this restart. We see the 9 going back up, so I'm guessing that a lot of weird things are happening right now. We have the first place car, it's moving around all over the place. Now it's scoring. It's going back and forth between scoring the 1 and the 9 as the leader, so anybody's guess right now. Either way, pace car is making its way out of turn 4. I'm going to wait for it to drop down the apron. We will restart the race with 30 laps remaining. Hopefully we've got all the cautions out of the way. This pace car drops down. Green flag is out. We are back racing. 35 laps to go here at Daytona with CRA.
As we're rolling down into the turn here, the front four have got a pretty good breakaway.
Well, it's 3 on 2 right now. See a little bit of damage there on that STP machine. Doesn't look like it's anything too severe. Never mind. Look at the camera again. He's got some pretty heavy left rear damage right there. That's going to hurt him a little bit until those cars behind catch up, because right now he does have a little bit of a wedgie going on. So that's going to affect his aero big time here, especially at a plate track. But with these cars with the closing rate, as long as he can get on the back bumper of the car in front of him, he should be all right.
Well, the 89 was a big, or 98 with a big move up through the middle there. Gets a hold of the 78 a little bit. He's going to run down through the middle and take it down low.
See these cars dancing all around the corner there. It's just, this track is extremely rough on the car. It's amazing that they actually got a setup to work here that is as stable as it is, because if they were running the baseline setup, these cars they'd all be dead by now. See the 98 giving the one a shot there.
98 is on a tear. He wants back to the front.
Hopefully, though, that paint scheme does not come back to bite him in the ass, because that is one unlucky paint scheme. I've run it, and every time I have, I've died. I'm on a first-name basis with everybody in the infield care center here.
There's our in-race reporter there, Gary Weaver, in that number 7 car. He's trying to sneak his way up into the top 5.
As we see the number 3 of Rodney Wofford, right now it is showing me he is 7 laps down. They are, as always, during the cautions, they try to get as many wave bys done as possible to get as many drivers back on the lead lap all the way up until 1 to green. So we see that outside line, they all shifted to the outside, which hung Artie Peterson out to dry. Kenny Holderman is going to lead the field across the stripe this time by. I don't know about you, Alan, but I think with these cars running that high line like that so close together, that's almost spelling a recipe for disaster.
That is a definite. I was just rambling in my head. Molly Hatchett's flirting with disaster.
Looks like everybody's trying to diversify right here as we see the lines are now back to double file and they're fairly evened out. At the line this time it'll be Kenny Holderman again leading yet another lap, with fellow teammate Dale Jr. right behind him. So number 9 right now is sitting very pretty. He's got a teammate right behind him. Seeing quite a few cars tonight with door donuts on them. You see that second pack back there. I'm wondering if they're just laying back again or if that's just all damaged cars that have already used their quick fixes, which is probably what I'm going to guess. We see the 98 getting a little aggressive there. He had to back off a little bit and almost caught a piece of the wall right there trying to push the 3 out of 4. God, almost sounded like you there with your 10 to 9. The 98's having to let off the throttle going into the corner. I think he's driving a little bit more aggressively than the 3 wants to right now, so he's probably going to try and look to the inside here pretty soon, as he does right there. Right now he does have nothing to lose. He has already used his quick repair, so might as well go for it, as he's going to stick it down there on the low line.
And then he is pushing a power move there. I don't know what he's got under the hood, but he is moving.
Well, that's just a strong attestament right there to how well these cars draft. I know I start to sound like a broken record when I start talking about draft, but these cars right here have one of the most amazing closing rates, side drafting. They're just absolutely fantastic in the draft with this low downforce package that we are running. It'll be a shame when iRacing comes out with a build that gets rid of the low downforces. We see that one comes up to give the 98 a little bit of a shove. He made that power move, but he lost a lot of ground since the outside line decided they didn't like the power move, and they're going to stay up there. Right now, the 98 and the 1 are pretty much the only two down on the bottom line. Everybody else is top groove racing here as Kenny Holderman is going to lead yet another lap here at Daytona. As the laps are starting to wind down, we have 27 laps remaining here as they're coming up on lap traffic. That'll be the 10 car right there. He couldn't get up to the high side, so he was down on the low line. Didn't seem to upset the 98 too much.
No, and the reason these guys mostly right now are running that high is because you keep the car wound up a little bit better out there. The track's not quite as bumpy, and you know, trying to hold this car down on this low line in the bumps, it just forces the car tight, and it makes you want to wash up. So that's most of, you see the veterans there, they want to run up on that high line. It's a little bit faster, a little smoother, it's easier on the car.
I couldn't have said it any better myself. This track in particular, but any super speedway where you've just got the sheer speed going on that low line, you are putting so much more force, so much more wear into the tires. Outside line, you're able to keep your speed and you get to run off the corner while using probably, I'd say, half as much tire as you would be on the inside line. But this track, it comes down to bumps. As we see, the leaders are coming up on more lap traffic. That would be the 00. He's going to take it all the way to the high side and let them go by. And the 00 puts it in the wall there, but he manages to break free of it, and we are still safe. And for a second, I thought I saw a car fly off the track, but it was just the airplane that was taxiing down the runway there.
And I do believe we are going to see some starts of green flag pit stops here.
New challenge for the lead right now, the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach. As we see one diving down for pit road right now. But that wasn't enough right there. Kenny Holderman still was able to hold off and led that lap. Still being pushed by fellow DHI teammate Dale Jr. there in the 81 Bass Tracker Chevrolet. On the inside, we've got the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach and the 98 of Jeff Figlin. Up on the high side, we could see the number 4 of Justin Levine, and then Artie Peterson's going to take it down to the low line. Behind him is Rodney Wofford, and then we have Thomas Labar in the number 5. Log another lap down for DHI right there. See the 98 trying to get a little side draft there off of the 3.
Way aggressive.
I've raced with Jeff before in OSRA, and he's not afraid to make a power move, but a lot of the times those power moves aren't really what you want to do, especially at a high-speed track like here, as we see the number 13 of Jason Kinder, who is lap traffic stay high for the leaders. As we are approaching 20 to go here, we should be seeing green flag pit stops. And I don't want to jinx it by saying any color or anything. I want to just see green. It's still a 3-on-2 battle up front. Got the 29 and the 98 on the inside. We have the 9, the 81, and the 4 on the outside. So we see another car coming down for a green flag pit stop, or he might possibly be out of fuel because that was very slow entrance to pit road. So right now, Kenny Holderman definitely has the hype, as his hood says. He's been out there and he's been leading lap after lap after lap so far. As we see the cars fan out here on the backstretch, trying to cool off a little bit. The 1 does have a little bit of damage to his left rear. As we see it, green flag pit stops taking place. That is DHI all right there pitting. That'd be Kenny Holderman, Mark Jorgensen Jr., and Rodney Wofford. So hand your lead over to the 29 of Matthew Welzenbach.
Yeah, I just got reports that we were going to start seeing pit stops within 10 laps, and they're going to need about between 5 and 6 gallons to make it from here. Whereas their tank is only 9 gallons, 9.5 gallons, being limited to 50%.
So 1 pit stop now will definitely get you the rest of the race. And if we do have what I'm not going to say come out again, we'll definitely be able to make it all the way in the field as we see more starting to make their way down pit road. Right now, the 98 and the 29 are going to stay out and take advantage of this as we see the 98 ducking way low. You see the 9 of Kenny Holderman coming back off of pit road. He's making his way back on track.
So it looks like we're on the 29, the 98, and at least the 08 coming down this time by.
That will hand your lead over to the number 4 of Justin Levine as we see the 10, 29, the 98, 13. Different pit strategies going on right now as we do have 18 to go. So that will move your top 3 now. Your leader is Justin Levine. Second place is number 5, Thomas Labar. And as a matter of fact, now Thomas Labar is going to challenge for the lead. And Justin Levine actually is going to fall back to 3rd place now as Artie Peterson Jr. is going to take 2nd. I do believe they're possibly setting up for their stops now. As we see more cars ducking down pit road.
Looks like there's a shout out to you, Art, in chat from Chris B.
Appreciate you guys watching, and hope you guys are enjoying the race so far. Right now it is still the 5 car leading this race. So you see Artie Peterson Jr. is going to make a move on the inside to take and lead a lap there. Meanwhile, Justin Levine is just sitting right back there patiently in 3rd place. I do believe we will be seeing these guys coming down very shortly. See the 58 making his way back up onto track after his stop. Now we see the 5 and the 4. Are they going to work on the outside, or are they going to line up for pit? Seeing how they had the power move there, I'm guessing that they're probably going to be coming in either this lap or next. And here they come. Your leaders are now pitting. They make it down safely. So now that'll hand your lead over to the 87 of Raymond Rittenhauer. Matthew Quick is going to take over second place, and Jeremy Funk is going to be your new third place car.
And 97 report pitting road. Heading down pit road. Wow.
You broke yourself. Come on, Alan. There's only 15 laps to go. You can do it.
All of a sudden, I just got tongue-tied and stepped on it.
Nope, that was more verbal diarrhea if I've ever seen it. So right now, it's pretty much 2 by 2 by 2. Stretched out pretty good between each of them, but this could be a good thing right here.
I'm back here looking at 10th place there. Mark Jorgensen Jr. is sitting pretty. He's got the 3 pushing him, and the 8 and the 98 are behind them, and they're lined up. I think these guys are going to make some time. Hopefully they can make enough time and get back in the mix here.
So we see the 87 and the 89 pitting. That will cycle your new leader, the 18 of Gary Champion.
Now, unfortunately, that 3 car is still several laps down, so he's just there helping a teammate, trying to get him back in the run here.
Last time I looked at the scoring board, he was still 7 laps down.
But now he has got Mark Jorgensen Jr. up to 5th place as pit stops are starting to finish cycling through.
Right now I'm showing last car on the lead lap is that 9 car in 14th place of Kenny Holderman. Everything else, Rodney Wofford right now is being scored in 22nd, 7 laps down. So that right there is just another aspect of teamwork right there. You see the 81 is still lead lap car. He's your fellow teammate driver. You're several laps down. Help your fellow driver. It'll be interesting to see when the 98 and the 08 hook up with these two, how fast they can advance up the field, as we do have 12 laps to go now. So we see the 13, the 1, the 29, and the 4 car here working. So now we will cycle your lead over to the 81 of Mark Jorgensen Jr. Second place would be the 08 of Gregory Thompson, and Jeff Figlin in the 98 will be your third place car. Only 11 laps to go, and right now DHI is sitting out front. Can Junior hang on? My bet is as long as he's got the 3 behind him, there ain't no stopping him.
No, he's got that lap down teammate pushing him. I don't see anybody getting around him without help.
Well, since I am a betting man, I'm going to say that the 98 and the 08 are going to try, at least I know the 98 is going to try and make a move. I don't know if the 08's going to go with him or if he's just going to stick with the flow, because he is sitting in second place, but I wouldn't want to jeopardize that second place spot either, though. It's all going to depend on what the 98 decides he wants to do, because you have to go with whoever's fast.
Yeah, but I don't know if the 98's laying back saving fuel or what. It just doesn't seem like he can get to the bumper of the 08.
Right now, with 10 laps to go, I wouldn't be doing it.
By Dwayne Cooper.
It's still too early on yet. It's not go time yet. About 5 laps to go. Being this close behind the leaders, I'd be waiting to make my move to at least 5 to go.
Maybe, but I haven't seen Jeff be all that patient lately this race. He's been trying to push his car to its max, so.
Well, we're in a different scenario now, though. We got the leaders with a sizable lead, so now you kind of got to switch up your driving mentality where you're not in a big pack where you have to make such aggressive moves. Now you just have to be smooth and consistent, and he's showing that right now. He's definitely not being aggressive. He's laying back off of the 8. We've been seeing flames shooting out of the 00's exhaust, so he's been letting off. So the 98 is definitely not pushing the car to its full potential right now. So that's, I'm going to call that a strategy move right now. He's saving his stuff for the end. Meanwhile, we got a good battle going on here between the 29, the 4, the 1, and the 13. See, the 4 is all over the back bumper of the 29. Almost looks like you can stick a sheet of paper in between the two of those cars for a minute.
Well, we do have some interesting strategies playing out already.
As you can see right there, those cars that we saw going through turns 1 and 2 is the lead pack. This is the second pack. You see the 89 is able to suck up to the back of the 4. That's going to definitely help out as we see the 1 is closing in on the 89. I don't know if the 29 stepped out. Well, he definitely wasn't overheating, but he stepped out to that outside line. He might be moving back to help push.
In the 3 has left his partner.
Uh-oh. So now, with 6 laps remaining, can Dale Jr. hold on to the lead? He's got Gregory Thompson and Jeff Figlin right behind him, and this is what I was talking about. 98 laying back as he waiting for a couple laps to go. I called it at about 5. Right now he's still being pushed by the 00. 00 doesn't have anything to lose right now. He's already burned his quick repair up. He's pretty much racing with what he's got, so my guess is going to be wherever the 98 goes, the 00 is going to be right on his tail. I think right now the 08 is just playing conservative too, and he's just going to stay behind the 81 as we still have 5 laps to go here. As they are coming up on lap traffic. I'm assuming they're being told to get down low, but they're not really in the way yet. They still have a couple seconds before they leech onto them.
So that 481, Mark Jorgensen, he is the lone soldier left from DHI sitting out there all by himself. I don't think he's going to have many friends coming down to the ending laps here.
I'd definitely be the one to agree with that, seeing how last season there was actually a bounty put out on DHI. Whoever could beat him actually got paid for it, and as we see right now, we might be seeing a power move coming soon here as they're getting closer to lap traffic. They might try and use the lap traffic as a pick to get around the 81. They are closing quick as we see them all dive down out of the way. One's heading down, it looked like he was heading for pit road, and he is. So that put the pressure on a little bit. 81 knew what was coming though, so he's going to protect that outside line as he comes up on the 7 of Gary Weaver. Right now, he's driving like Junior. He's all out there by himself, but he is still just pulling away. I think that's going to hurt him, though, because we see the 8 and 98 is closing quick, and they're going to move to the outside on him. As he throws the block, that's going to throw the 08 up high. See if the 98 backs off and gives the 08 the room. If not, he's going to drop down to the bottom.
And
the 00 is going high.
The 08 and the 98 are teammates of Triple Clutch Racing.
Oh, Dwayne's in the wall again. He managed. Wreck.
Oh, big wreck. Hard wreck, I should say, not big.
The lead has been swapped right now. The 08's got it right now. Junior's fighting on the outside, but has he got enough to hold on? As we're going to be taking the white flag this time by. I don't think he's got enough. One car's not going to be able to work against two. He is side drafting the crap out of the 98 right now as we see the 08 come up high. 3 wide as they come out of 4. White flag this time by. Well, he's able to clear the 98, so that'll hold him in second right now, but the 98's going to come right back on the outside as we see the 81's going to dive to the inside. As we get the 5 car, lap car traffic, that's going to move the 81 back down to the lead. 98's going to challenge on the outside as we see the 3 car is back in the mix again. Right now, Jeff Figlin has the lead going into 3. This right here is pretty much going to seal the deal unless Junior can make a move in one turn. Jeff Figlin is going to win this race.
He is on that bumper. He's going to the inside.
Oh, contact. They both able to. Good save.
Wow.
Amazing save by the 81 right there. Hand your win off to the 08 of Gregory Thompson. Outstanding job, though, by Mark Jorgensen Jr. bringing it home second. Jeff Figlin's going to bring it home third, according to IRTVO. Now, I may be wrong because we have seen this be wrong in the past. I'm going to let it go back around one more time. But just to reiterate again, that was one of the most amazing saves I've ever seen. He was completely sideways in the tri-oval, and he hung on to it. As we see a little style points there going on with the 81. Oh, unless my scoring is wrong, it is showing Gregory Thompson as our winner, and despite pulling off one of the most epic catches I've ever seen, the 81 is going to bring home second, and the 98 of Jeff Figlin will roll home third. All right, Alan, anytime you want, you can bring our third place finisher up, and he is all yours.
All right, here we go. Gregory, it's Alan up in the booth. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing fine.
Looks like you brought it home third here, huh? Heck of a run to the finish there. I thought you guys might have had something for him.
Well, I think I might have had it. The 5 was just in the way. He was up in the high line, and it stopped my momentum and let Jeff and the 81 get back by me, and I just ran out of laps there.
Yeah, I did see that the 5 was up in that high line there, and I heard you call him out to go low, and by that time it didn't look like he had enough time to get down, but it did definitely kill your momentum. Good to see you finish third.
Oh yeah, well, it's good to see my teammate also, Jeff Figlin, winning the race. So that's a plus right there. So we got first and third tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely a good win in the column there for Triple Clutch Racing. So, is there anybody you'd like to thank with us tonight?
Well, I'd like to thank, Jeff Figlin, Jason Rodebush, and Chris Berry. They all run with me, and we actually ran a pretty good race tonight. Got caught up early in a first. I was running up in second place, I believe, and got caught up. I think the 89 hooked me, got me into the wall there, and I had to use my quick repair early. And after that, I ran a pretty clean race. I got some damage, but I was able to fix it in one of those cautions.
Well, good run for you tonight. We hope to see you again next week.
Oh, I definitely must be here, and I'll be here Saturday, hopefully, too.
Alrighty, you have yourself a good evening, and we'll put you back up in the other room for now.
I cannot wait to talk to Junior on this one.
And I'll bring him in, and he's all yours.
Holy shit, Junior. That was one hell of a save there coming to the finish.
It was good driving, I guess.
Good driving my ass. I wouldn't have saved that car.
Yeah, for a second I thought I overcorrected, and I thought I was going to be aimed for the outside wall, but heck, with how close we were to the start-finish line, I think I would have been able to slide across for still might have got second, probably would have dropped to third probably.
I thought you had it in the books there, but it looked like Rodney had backed off there, and that opened the door for the 08 and the 98. We saw him driving pretty aggressively early on while we were still pack racing, but once everything kind of settled out, they kind of laid back and let you do your thing. But nonetheless, that was one of the best finishes I've ever seen you pull off. That was just totally freaking awesome to see you that sideways and then straighten it out.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I mean, the race I thought was pretty fun. Every time, it doesn't matter what league you're in. Every time we go to Daytona 07, it seems like, there's a few cautions because of all the bumps and all the cars getting tossed all over the place, and guys trying to hold a line, but they're anticipating the bumps and kind of get into each other. But I thought overall it was pretty good. Obviously all of us in the Dark Horse stable, we was working really, really well together. I think that green flag pit stop, I think Kenny had a little trouble getting into pits. Don't think he was able to get it woed down to pit lane speed. That kind of sucked because, I felt like with 3 cars, we would have been able to do what we do and, pull away from the pack, once green flag pits cycled out. But ended up having my teammate Rodney there, and he was shoving on me like all hell. I think he was still like maybe 3 or 4 laps down, I think. And, he was having connection issues all race. And I think he was getting glitched in that last stop down pit lane. He didn't get a full tank of fuel. Don't know what the issue was, but he ended up having to come down with a handful of laps remaining. So after that, I just knew that I had to try to make my car as wide as possible to keep those guys back there. I mean, I saw I think it was Thompson, the Budweiser Chevy. I think he was kind of falling back a little bit to get hooked up with Jeff, and I kind of saw that they was making a run, and kind of Greg, he was able to get by me. No big thing, but I was able to put the moves on him to get back by, and I don't think that low lane was where I needed to be. It let Jeff kind of get a good run on my outside coming off of 2, and I really think that I was going to be able to get back by him. Obviously, we're racing for the win, but at the same token, you got to kind of race smart, man. There ain't no sense in trying to possibly wreck a guy and screw his finishing position up. But I really thought that I had a chance to get him, and I got to his inside, and he kept on, running me down on the apron, running me down, and finally, I mean, I getting sideways, having to lift, having to try to save my car, and basically, ended up just finishing second. It sucks. Like I said, I know we're racing on the virtual racetrack. Everybody's trying to do everything they can to win, but at the same token, you still got to use your head a little bit. Don't want to ruin somebody else's race or whatever.
And I did think from there early on, watching through practice and qualifying, that you did have undoubtedly one of the fastest cars. Like you did say, it did suck to come in second, but you still managed to pull off a second place finish, which the way you did it right there, to me, that's almost as good as a win, because that was one of the most epic second place finishes I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to be definitely good for the points for sure. I don't know where we're going to stack up after this. Hopefully I'll be pretty high up in the point chart, but yeah, second place is, I mean, obviously a top 5, every Friday night is amazing. I think if you finish top 5 every race, I think you'll probably have a good shot at being the champion at the end of the season. But obviously whenever I come out here and race with these guys every Friday night, I always the goal that I got every Friday night is to win the race. And the dark horse guys, they brought me another fast piece. Looked amazing. The middle lane on the Daytona 07 is the quickest lane around the racetrack, and I really thought that I had something for those guys, but like I say, just come one spot short. It is what it is, but like I said, I think we'll get them next week.
Well, congratulations on the P2 finish, and I have to ask the question, is there anybody that you'd like to thank?
Oh yeah, all of y'all for the broadcast. I can't wait to go back and take a look at it this evening. I like going back and watching the races, hearing y'all get amped up when it doesn't matter whoever is making a good move on the racetrack. I always like going back and watching them. So good job to y'all. I'd like to thank Dwayne for putting this on for all of us to come out here on a Friday night and do what we like to do, racing restrictor plate tracks, on our racing. That's pretty fun. I'd like to thank all the guys at the Dark Horse stable tonight. Kenny and Rodney, they was there to help out when they could. Kind of sucks because, obviously, it would have been nice to get a 1, 2, 3 finish for Dark Horse. But other than that, man, we'll just go out there and kick some ass next Friday night.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next Friday night at Talladega. Hopefully you can bring home a 1, 2, 3 for Dark Horse.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully I'll be on the one in victory lane.
10-4 on that. And now we are here with your leader. Right. Jeff, how's it feel to win it?
Well, I mean, it's actually awesome. I mean, I can't believe I actually won that race. I thought for sure that I was going to have to push the 08. I mean, I was committed to pushing the 08. He got stuck behind the 5, and I was like, well, I had to run. I had to make my move.
And that was definitely one hell of a power move. That was one of the best to the line finishes that I've seen in a long time. There's a little bit of contact between you and Junior there, but both of you guys actually managed to save the cars, and you brought it home in first.
Yeah, I mean, I had a good run there. I got wrecked early in the race, and I was like, well, I had to save what I had and to try to salvage what I could out of it. And luckily, the pit stops fell right, and I came out in third. And like I said, I was going to push the 08 to the victory, and he got stuck behind that lap car there, and I had the run, so I went for it and ended up with the victory.
I think one of the biggest questions is, how did the setup feel tonight? Because I know this track is a rough son of a bitch, and the cars actually looked like they handled a lot better than they normally would.
I didn't find the setup to be that bad. I mean, it bottomed out a lot, but it was very controllable. A lot more than normally you would see at Daytona 07. So I was pretty happy with the set. I mean, like I said, it did bottom out a lot, but it ran pretty stable. So it was a pretty good set for 07.
Well, once again, congratulations on the win. Is there anybody that you would like to thank?
I'd like to thank Greg Thompson for running with me there. I hated that I had to run there and pass him, and I'd like to thank my teammate Jason Rodebush. Unfortunately, he got wrecked out earlier in the race, but it was a good run there for Triple Clutch Racing, and I'm happy to take the victory home. And I'd like to thank Dwayne Cooper for putting on this race. I mean, it's a lot of fun to come out here and run these K&N cars. You don't get to do it very often, and especially at Daytona 07. It's a pretty tough race, and I'm nice that I can knock those Dark Horse guys off. Pretty proud of that.
All right, buddy. We move on next week to Talladega. Hopefully you can string back-to-back wins.
That's a good job. I appreciate you guys broadcasting. Thank you very much.
All right, and we'll get some closing statements here from Dwayne Cooper here in just a minute. There we go. How you doing tonight, Dwayne? You looked like you had a little bit of a rough go of it, but you hung in there and finished it out.
Yeah, I got some damage, but I was hoping it was 3 minutes worth, so I was trying not to use my repair until the end, and by the time I used it, it was too late.
No, Alan broke himself. We saw a lot of big wrecks that probably shouldn't happen, but it did look like it was netcode was the issue again tonight. So a lot of the drivers that we normally see up front ended up getting taken out early on. So that was actually a refreshing thing to see somebody finally, other than Dark Horse, to come up and actually score a win.
Y'all keep bringing that up, but I'm telling you, y'all are jinxing them because in 2017 they are 0 for 4 in points races at Cyber Racing.
Okay, that might be a little bit of fanboy there.
Yeah, so I think you're jinxing them. We're gonna blame it on you anyway, not Alan. You.
Well, that's fine. Open the door for other people to win.
We know you're just like Darrell Waltrip and picking a driver and showing so much favoritism inside the booth. So.
Nah, I'm too busy doing the Oogie Shuffle. I thought I won the race. One of the most unforgettable moments in motorsports history.
You know, that track's bumpy, but I tried telling them guys just relax in there. But you can see the ones that was over aggressive at the beginning. If that first run, if we wouldn't have had that caution, I think it would have been really a good race because everybody was just up in the high line and just riding. Because you can't really get on that bottom and do anything. It's too bumpy.
We definitely saw a diverse bunch of different lines tonight. We saw a lot of different pitting strategies. And it was nice to see that we could actually run it green to the end this time without finishing under caution. So once we got within, I think it was 14 laps to go. It was 2 cars separated by another 2 cars, and then another 2 cars. And then lap traffic came into play, and we saw contact between the 98 and the 81 coming to the line. Both of them were able to save the cars, but they did put on one hell of a finish there.
Yeah, and that's what NASCAR is going to end up missing with them automatic pit stops. Because when you get green flag pit stops, that's when you separate the fields out and you get long green flag runs. And NASCAR's Bill France crap is going to take that away from NASCAR.
Well, I'm a firm believer that NASCAR died with Earnhardt. Honestly, the only time that you should ever crown a champion is after 36 races and see who's at the top of the list.
Oh, I agree. I mean, this chase shit. Jimmy Johnson doesn't have all them championships without it.
Thank you. I am not the only person who's going to be called an asshole for saying that, but Jimmy Johnson is not a 6-time.
He couldn't even race it was actually the Busch car. He couldn't even race it without putting it in the tire wall, and then all of a sudden he's freaking 7-time champion in NASCAR. Come on, dude.
Yeah, and the thing that burns my ass the most is when they compare him to Earnhardt. I was like, don't you ever fucking compare Jimmy Johnson to Dale Earnhardt. Those are two completely different breed of race car drivers. There's only two drivers in NASCAR history to win 7 championships after a 36 race season. Fuck off, Jimmy Johnson. You're not one of them.
Well, there's only one actually, because Richard Petty did it when you could race almost every night.
Yeah, that is correct. So Richard Petty is in his own category. Dale Earnhardt is in his own category. And then everybody else is just in the bullshit category because they started throwing rules.
Like, what time's next week's race?
The 40th of Moon?
What? 40th of what? You know.
Think Alan might have died.
That would be 40 of 12.
Oh God, no! You're gonna keep coming up with all these dumbass times. I'm gonna screw up one time and actually say that shit during.
That's the plan. Then I don't look like the stupid one.
Oh, but you still are, because remember when you assume something, you make an ass out of both of us.
So y'all both
believe
stupid,
me, I
you
know.
say it.
Yep. I'm the first to admit it. I'm a dumbass. I don't care. I'd rather be a dumbass than Alan.
All right, well, I'll let y'all wrap it up. Overall, it was a good race.
Yes,
Look
it
forward to
was.
Next week. Look forward to tomorrow night, too.
So we have the trucks tomorrow night, and then next Friday we move on to Talladega.
Yep, big old track, and these cars drive like crazy, so that's going to be fun.
All right, brother. We will see you there next Friday then. All right, now we will go through the final results here, and it's, hey, look at that, it pulls up correct. Your winner, the 98 of Jeff Fagelin. Dale Jr. managing to bring it home in second place after an amazing 1-2 finish there at the line. Gregory Thompson's going to come home third, Matthew Quick fourth, Justin Levine fifth. 29 of Matthew Welsenbach is going to bring it home sixth. Gary Champion seventh. Sawyer Ott eighth. Jeremy Funk ninth. Rounding out your top 10 is going to be Raymond Rittenhauer. Kenny Holderman, after having a bad pit stop, is going to bring it home 11th. Talon Crandall 12th. James Peterson 13th. R.D. Peterson Jr., who we saw up front a lot of the race, is going to bring it home 14th. Gary Weaver, our in-race reporter and sometimes in the booth broadcaster, he helps us out sometimes with DieHard, and he was on the tail end of the season with us last year. He's going to bring it home 15th. Stephen Masurley 16th. Jason Kinzer 17th. Chris Akers 18th. Thomas Labar 19th. Dwayne Cooper, who we just spoke with, is going to round out your top 20. Sean Harmon 21st. Rodney Wofford, after having bad luck all night, he is going to come home 22nd, 8 laps down. 23rd, we have Kevin Tesmar. Bobby Tinch, who is involved in one of the big ones, is going to bring it home 24th, along with Jason Rudbush in 25th and Christopher Berry rounding out your field in 26th. So it was definitely what I expected to see at 07 Daytona, especially with the bumps, all the beating and banging. I didn't expect to see 2 big wrecks like that, but it is plate racing and shit like that happens.
Yeah, it's unfortunate we got quite as many cautions as we had, but overall it was a good run, good race, you know. These guys do it every week, so we'll see them again next Friday night at Talladega.
And we've got Gary in the booth. How you doing, Gary?
Hello. Technically, I'm not exactly an in-race reporter if it was only once. I'm kidding.
Hey, who said that was only once?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the racing out there was really fun. It was fun running up front with those guys, but, you know, it really sucked that I had to pit for fuel. I don't know how they managed to stretch that out. They must be running like half throttle.
We were watching a lot of different driving techniques and strategies working. It seems like they were leapfrogging. They take turns. We obviously know that the first car is going to be the one that's going to be the least economical on fuel because he's the one punching through the air, creating the hole. So what we saw was a lot of leapfrogging between the drivers. So they were all taking turns managing their fuel, which is what I think let them run as long as they could.
Yeah, what made the racing even more fun would be definitely going and trying to figure out what line is the best, like how we saw tonight. I was actually starting to run the bottom then I see everybody going to the high line. I'm just like, I think I'll run the high line.
What we heard from a lot of drivers is that the middle groove seemed to be the best out of everything. We know the low side, that's the bumpiest. The high side, it's a lot smoother. You lose time going into the corner, but you get such a run off the corner. It wasn't until later on in the race we saw a lot of the front four, at least, they were running that middle line consistently the entire track. So it seemed that the line changed as the style and the way that the pack changed after that last set of pit stops, where we had two cars, a gap, then two cars, and another gap and two cars. We started seeing them running the straight middle, and then lap traffic came into play. We saw the majority of them got out of the way. A couple didn't, which opened the door and ultimately let the 98 bring home a win. And Junior, who we all thought had it in the bag, ended up coming home second. So we definitely saw a lot of different variables, which is one of the things of plate track racing. We always preach about fuel mileage, taking care of your tires, being smooth on it, not wrecking the car, but you've got to make friends with whoever, but we all know once that white flag comes out, there is not a single friend on the entire track. Everybody is going for one goal.
Yeah, I watched the finish of that race. That was definitely amazing. So congrats to Jeff for winning that. And apparently next Friday it's going to be the how should I put this? Third day of the second month of the.
That's good. No. You're going to break me now. It's definitely going to be interesting next week at Talladega because I know that's a 3 wide all the way around the track.
Oh, yeah, no, that's going to be complete death.
Actually, I don't know. Some of the cleanest racing we've seen has come from Talladega, ironically.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be fun. If this race was fun, next week is going to be really fun.
Well, we always look forward to it, and hopefully this will be a string of things to keep coming. We will use you as our Jeff Burton, so to speak. You'll be our in-race reporter for the rest of the season, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. Plus, I actually have a possible chance to say hi to my friends if they're still watching. And if they are, hello, friends.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it tonight for us here at Daytona. It was one hell of a finish between the 98, the 81, and the 08. For Alan Schoen, Gary Weaver, I'm Art Peck for DieHard Live TV. We will see you guys next Friday at Talladega. Thanks for watching, and good night.